All voters have the right to use an accessible machine to mark their ballot in the polling place. These machines, called voter assist terminals, can also be used in the clerk's office for marking absent voter ballots in the days leading up to an election. The machine must be available and turned on wherever voting is taking place. To use the voter assist terminal, just ask. You do not need to say you have a disability or show any proof of a disability. The ES&S ExpressVote has assistive tools that make it easier for voters with visual, hearing, mobility, or other disabilities to mark their ballots. Voting with this machine involves 3 steps: marking the ballot with the ExpressVote, printing your card, and inserting it into the tabulator. This video will walk you through that process. At the polling place or in the clerk's office, let the election worker know that you'd like to use the ExpressVote machine. You can say you'd like to use the accessible voting machine or the voter assist terminal. It should be located in an easy-to-access area where your voting privacy will be protected. For your health and safety, the machine should be at least 6 feet from other voting booths and other areas being used by voters. There should be ample space under and around the table for mobility devices. If you will be taking someone with you to assist you in casting your ballot, the election worker will verify that that person is not your employer or an agent of your union. You may also request that 2 election workers accompany you to help you cast your ballot. As you face the ExpressVote machine, you will see the touchscreen, the card slot, and a black panel with 2 power indicators and 2 accessibility ports. The left port, beneath the symbol of access, is where assistive devices such as sip and puff or rocker switch may be connected. Any assistive device that can plug into ExpressVote's 1/4-inch port may be used. Note that precincts will not provide sip and puff equipment. A rocker switch and connector cable may be available for you to use. Contact your local clerk's office to verify. The right port on the black panel is for headphones, which will already be plugged in. Headphones may be used together with the touchscreen or any other assistive devices that scroll and select. The ExpressVote has an audio-tactile keyboard for voters who do not use the touchscreen. It attaches to the left side of the console. The keypad is typically used with headphones and features audio controls in its lower right corner. The rectangular button at the bottom increases or decreases volume. The oval button just above it increases or decreases the speed at which the ballot and instructions are read. Just above that button, a circular repeat button may be pressed to repeat the last spoken phrase. A hexagonal pause button is located just to the left of the volume button. Pressing this pauses the audio message. Pressing it again will restart the message. In the top right corner of the keypad, a diamond-shaped button labeled Screen may be used to turn off the display completely to keep your ballot and ballot selections private. Pressing it a second time will turn the display back on. There are 4 arrow-shaped buttons that you will press to navigate through the ballot. These surround a square button that you will press to make a selection. Forward and back arrows located to the right and left of the Select button advance to the next page or return to the previous one. Up and down arrows, which lie above and below the Select button, move the cursor up and down, highlighting each selectable element on the screen. A pentagon-shaped Home button in the bottom left of the keyboard may be pressed at any time to access instructions and help for the current page. The keypad's buttons are all labeled in Braille. To start a voting session on the ExpressVote, you will need a long, rectangular card called an activation card. It will be coded with your ballot and precinct information. Some precincts use blank cards that are not encoded with this information. In this case, it is typical for an election worker to accompany you to the machine and select the correct ballot and precinct style. If you prefer to do this yourself, let the election worker know. They can provide you with the information you need to load the right ballot. Contact your local clerk if you'd like to know whether your jurisdiction uses pre-coded or blank cards. After you have applied to vote, you will be given an activation card. If the card does not have a ballot stub on it, the election worker will remove a ballot stub from a standard ballot and insert it into the pocket on the secrecy sleeve with your application to vote. The election worker will offer to activate the ExpressVote for you. They will also offer to orient you in using the ExpressVote and answer any questions you have. Do not hesitate to let them know what you need or to ask them to repeat instructions. You have the right to vote with or without assistance. Just tell the election worker what you require, and they will provide as much or as little help as you like. When the ExpressVote screen reads, "To begin voting, insert your card," you or the election worker will insert your card into the front card slot. Insert the cut edge end first, cut side facing right. If your card was not already encoded, the precinct selection screen will come up. You may use the on-screen keypad to enter the full name of the precinct, but it is easier to select Search to pull up a short list of precincts, or to enter the first letter or two of your precinct, then select Search, which will return an even shorter list. If there's more than one ballot style being voted in your precinct, you will be prompted to select the correct ballot style. If multiple languages are supported for the election, the Select a Language screen will offer the ballot in 2 or more languages. Select the language you prefer. Your ballot should now be loaded, and the Start Voting button will be available on the screen. If an election worker has assisted you in loading the ballot, they might ask if you would like any further help. Otherwise, they will leave you to cast your ballot privately. You can always ask for assistance during any step of the voting process. Select Start Voting. If you'd like to adjust the display settings, use the main navigation bar at the bottom of the touchscreen. Select the Zoom icon to adjust font size, and Contrast if you'd like to change the display to black with white text. To adjust audio settings using the Audio Tactile keyboard, use the Volume and Tempo buttons. If you are not using the touchscreen at all, you may press the keypad's Screen button to completely darken it. At the top right of the touchscreen, the Help icon can provide voting instructions, including instructions on adjusting audio and display settings. From the keypad, press the Home button to hear this information. To navigate within the ballot, use the Next and Previous button on the main navigation bar. These will move the ballot from one contest to another. From the keypad, use forward and back arrows. Each screen displays the name of the office or proposal and will tell you the maximum number of choices to select. For example, the instructions may tell you, "Vote for one." To vote for a candidate or proposal, touch your choice or press the Select button on the keypad once it is highlighted or spoken. Those using the touch screen will see a check mark on their selections. If there is an option to enter a write-in candidate, select the Write-in button. Using the on-screen keypad that appears, enter the candidate's name, then select Accept. The write-in name will display next to Write-in with a check mark. If there are more choices in a contest that can fit on the screen, a More navigation bar at the bottom of the screen will become available, just above the main navigation bar. Selecting More will reveal more choices. In some contests, you're allowed to select more than one candidate. For example, the instructions might tell you, select no more than 2 candidates. If you don't select the maximum number of candidates allowed, 2 in this example, you will be alerted that you have undervoted before you leave the contest. If you want to select the maximum number, you may return to that contest by following the instructions on the alert message. If you are using a rocker switch or a sip and puff, you will use one action to scroll through all the elements on the screen and another action to select. ES&S's rocker switch uses the No button to scroll clockwise and the Yes button to highlight. To select using this device, you must hit Yes a second time. Your Sip and Puff device will scroll clockwise through all the elements on a screen with sips. Elements will be highlighted when you land on them. Puff once to select. If you are using headphones together with any assistive device other than the keypad, only use the keypad to adjust audio settings or to blacken the screen, not to scroll or select. At any point during the voting process, you may abandon your session by selecting the Exit icon located on the main navigation bar. Selecting Exit will eject your unmarked card from the machine. Be aware that if you leave your session, your ballot selections will not be recorded. When you have made selections for all contests on the ballot, the Verify Selections screen will load. All your choices will be listed for you to review before printing. If you wish to change your choice for any contest, simply select that choice to return to the contest and make a different choice. The Verify Selections screen will load an alert if any contest was undervoted. If you wish to make additional selections in that contest, you can navigate back to it by simply selecting your choice for that contest. To return to the Verify Selections screen after you've made changes, select Next. The changes you made will be highlighted on the screen. If you're happy with your choices as shown on the Verify Selections screen, you may end your voting session by printing your ballot. Select Next, and you will be prompted to print your card. Once you select the Print Card button, your voting session will end, and your card will eject from the card slot. It will be printed with a summary of your selection below a barcode that records those selections for the tabulator to read. The ExpressVote screen will now load a message that your votes have been successfully cast. After printing, it is no longer possible to make changes to your ballot. If you wish to change your ballot, an election worker will help you through the process of spoiling your ballot and starting over. If you would like to review your selections again, you may reinsert your card into the slot to view or listen to your ballot choices. When you are ready, place your card in the secrecy sleeve and head toward the table on the way to the tabulator. At this table, an election worker will collect either the stub from your card or the standard ballot stub that you received when you applied to vote. They will also collect your application to vote and verify that your stub number matches the number on your application. If you'd like help putting your ballot into the tabulator, let the election worker know. Otherwise, insert your ballot into the tabulator and deposit the secrecy sleeve into the collection bin. We hope that you have found this video guide instructive. Remember that your vote matters, and you have the right to vote with or without assistance.